Hi guys, I'm Kathy, and then we have Kent here.
Hey
So actually right now we are running the campaigns, and then we got a lot of questions from our community, and then so that's why we are sitting down here and then kind of like go over some questions that you guys have, and then hopefully can solve the questions that you have. So we in order to give our new friends a warm welcome. So could you please kind of provide a briefly overview of our company and then products?
Yeah, sure. So Yarbo actually started life as Snowbot back in 2017, and our goal then was to create the world's first autonomous snowblower. After that was in development for a while and we were just about to launch it, we decided, you know what? We can see in the snow, we can navigate in the snow, which is much more difficult than, say, a lot of the lawn work out there. And so in 2021, we decided to go to a modular platform. When we did that, we rebranded to Yarbo. We launched on a Kickstarter about 2 years ago, and we've been doing that ever since. We have about 1,000 customers now. Over this past winter, we shipped about 1,000 snowblowers. We learned a lot from our community. They've been absolutely great in engaging us and providing feedback. And so this campaign really is about making more of an evolutionary change instead of a revolutionary change, in that this is just a refined version of our 2023 model. And we can kind of get into more of what that is. But at Yarbo's heart is its core, its main body, which is unique to any yard robot. You'll see a lot of lawnmowers out there, maybe one with a leaf sweeper attached, but that's about as flexible as they are. We really want Yarbo to be able to handle multiple scenarios because it's modular front and back, and really be like your all-in-one yard robot. So you don't have to buy 5 yard robots for 5 different tasks.
Correct. Yep. And then while we just mentioned the difference between the 2023 versions and then the new versions, so it will be kind of called the upgrade versions, right?
Yeah.
So could you please telling us what's the difference between the old version and then the upgrade version?
Yeah, sure. So the 2023 model was only modular in the front. So you could run high-powered modules in the front. It did have something called tow mode, where you could tow things around your yard. But the 2024 version, we wanted to refine on a couple of things. One of the big things is making it modular both front and back. So right now we have many modules that we could hook up in the front,
yes,
but we don't have any power and data in the back.
Correct.
So now we want to be able to develop our own modules in the back. Like if we develop a leaf sweeper, we want it to be able to mulch, we want it to be able to auto empty. And to do that, also you don't always want to take one module off the front and then have to change that all the time. So now you can leave one connected to the front, maybe a lawnmower and a leaf blower on the back. So that's a big part of the story. The other one is connectivity. In 2023, we promised the lawnmower would cover about 1.25 acres. We then upgraded that to 2.1 acres. The 2024 version is going to be able to cover up to 6 acres.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, so, and to go with that, we had to upgrade the connectivity. So we have a pretty unique wireless solution that will let us cover those 6 acres. And prior to that, we had 4G wireless, and we did have some issues with connectivity, so we really focused on making sure that there will be no connectivity issues with the 2024 version. And our wireless protocol is pretty unique to us. So that's the other thing that's a big change.
Awesome, good to know. So I got a lot of laundry list of questions about the current state of the products, and especially for the lawnmower.
Sure.
So we just go over some questions that you guys was really concerned about. So there are questions about what's the warranty years?
Yeah, sure. So Yarbo has a 2-year warranty. That covers everything. It's basically like a comprehensive warranty. So any issues with the unit, we will either replace the unit or we'll replace the module itself. If a customer has something wrong, like maybe a piece of plastic broke off and they're comfortable fixing it up, themselves, we can send them that if they want. But for the most part, if you have an issue, our goal is to get you, back up and running in, a matter of weeks, hopefully days. This past winter, we really had a fast turnaround. We know how critical like snow removal is to people. So if they had an issue with their snowblower, we would just replace the snowblower module. If they had an issue with the main body, we would just replace it.
Yeah, awesome. So about the lawnmower, so like how much the runtime per cut?
The runtime per
Cut.
Oh, per cut?
Yeah.
Sure. I believe the runtime per cut is about 0.7 acres.
Awesome. So like they're also asking like about the battery. So like what's the battery lifespan? So
Yeah, sure. So we guarantee the battery for 2 years. Batteries are much like batteries on any other like type ecosystem setup where you have a lithium ion battery and it has X amount of cycles before it starts to degrade. Every battery will degrade, whether it's an EV car or in a robotic lawnmower. Most robotic lawnmowers don't have replaceable batteries, we do. So we expect the lifetime of the battery to be about 5 years. It could very well go 7 or 8 years. What's gonna happen is when you get past, say, like a 2-year mark, you're gonna, instead of having 100% capacity, you might have 95% and 90%. And then you'll get down to about 80%, say after 3 years, and it'll just stay that way. And it could stay that way for another 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, even 10 years, until it ultimately just dies one day.
so it's just basically like normal device that we have the battery. So
correct.
like usually like for the phones, no matter which brand is it. So like when you like take more years and then you just like lose their battery lifespan, but still they can use it for a while.
But you can't replace it. That's that's the big thing because the battery is integrated into it. So a lot of our competitors, or indirect competitors, I should say, are integrating the battery into the unit itself. So when that goes, you have to replace the entire unit or send it in to get service. So with us, you can just buy a battery by itself.
Awesome. You just mentioned that we can replace the battery. So like, what's the cost to replace the battery?
Sure. So the cost to replace the battery is not high right now, but people maybe perceive it is. To give you kind of a cost comparison, an Ego battery that's 12 amp hours is around $500. 12 amp hours. Our battery's 38 amp hours and it's about $1,000. So if we were using Ego's terms, it would probably cost $2,000. We're about at half that cost. But the battery will last, a very long time. Lithium-ion batteries have battery management systems, as do ours. If you're running that battery in cold weather, it'll self-heat itself to protect the cells so that they're always working in the optimal conditions, which like an Ego battery doesn't have if you run it in their snowblower. And it gets too cold, you're going to damage those batteries.
Correct.
So, and that will hurt their lifespan. So,
Awesome. So other questions about the lawnmower. So can they handle cutting like Bremada grass down to the like half to like 3/4 of an inch in height on the lawn? And then is that like manually a clary or stand?
is it what kind of grass?
Like Bermuda, like I'm not sure.
Bermuda.
Bermuda, sorry,
Yep.
Bermuda.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. So right now we go down to 1.25 inches, 1.2 inches. I'm sorry, and we go up to 4 inches because most of the demand from our customers, because this was an all-season tool, we did want to put a focus on cool season grass. If you want to get down to half an inch, we can technically do that, but we'd have to sell like an add-on kit, which would just lower the blade height, and it would just be a different type of blade, or I shouldn't say blade, but cutting disc on the bottom that you would replace that would lower it and give you a little bit of a lower cut. So if there is enough demand in the community, we can do that. Right now, though, the minimum cutting height is 1.2 inches and the maximum 4. Yeah, and I just want to touch upon one thing. You had asked about, or a user had asked about, what our cut per charges. So robot lawnmowers are really designed to maintain your lawn. Yarbo can take 2 inches off your lawn if you want it to, but there's always the rules of thirds with lawns where you don't want to take off more than 1/3 of the lawn at a time because it's just not healthy for the grass. robot lawnmowers are really made to maintain the grass. So we have some of the most powerful motors in the industry. We really put a focus on there. So as opposed to like a Husqvarna or a Nabimo that'll have a very weak cutting disc, if you even let it get an inch above its max cutting height, it will not cut that grass. So we do have really powerful motors, but Yarbo is really all about maintaining the lawn. So
we care about our garden. So
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for answering the questions about the product. So the next up are the inquiries about the price.
Sure.
Because like the people are really interested about this event, the campaign.
Yep.
So here's the question. So like, why is Yarbo running a price reduction campaign at this time?
Yeah, sure. So good question. And I know some people, this is very new to them. So, and even the way we're doing it is a little bit new to the market, and I'll kind of explain why. When we originally launched under a Kickstarter, we sold about 1,000 units. The average investment was $3,500. And with Kickstarter, you have very little protections as far as a consumer purchasing a product, right? That $3,500 you're investing in a Kickstarter project, they could sometimes not deliver any product and you lose your money completely, or they'll deliver a product that's subpar. What we wanted to do this time around was kind of try and have the best of both worlds for everybody. So the reason why the campaign is there and the early payment of $100 is we need a realistic number of how many people we think are gonna, buy into Yarbo, right? Into this not upgrade, but into this 2024 version. We also want the traditional mechanisms in place that would protect the buyer so they have confidence, right? So if we don't deliver, they can call their credit card company up and say, hey, I bought this product and they never delivered it, right? That's something you don't get with Kickstarter. The other thing is the more people that come into the campaign, right, the higher buying power we have, so the lower price we can offer. So when people also ask, why don't we have an exact price right now? We have a roundabout price for everything. But the reason we don't have a fine-tuned price is because we really want to set the number as low as we possibly can to get the highest number of units sold. We're a young company, it's important to us, and we really want the buyer to feel like they can make a confident purchase and still be protected.
Yeah, correct. So we try to protect our customer users. So also some friends saw like the promotion image on the official website, and then which were randomly of the old versions.
Yep.
And then leading to kind of like a misunderstanding, like that the old version machine are on sale right now. So can you explain this?
Yeah, sure. So the old version of like the images that you see on the website, they will be replaced in very short order with the 2024 version. We have the 2024 version in testing right now, and we'll be doing more demo videos on that over the next month. But all of that you'll see refreshed on the website before the campaign ends, because literally when the campaign ends, we go into production. And because these were kind of refinement changes, we still have some customers. We offered customers that bought the 2023 version an upgrade path, and most of our users took advantage of it, but some did not and they were happy with their 2023 version, so they kept that. So we also want to show them the capability of the 2023 version. So if you see that in our videos, that's why. We have a little bit of improvement room over the next month to do things like possibly give the lawnmower deck a floating deck, which the 2023 version wouldn't have, but the 2024 version could have. So I hope that kind of
helped him.
Helps that confusion a little bit.
Yeah, and then let's stay with us. We will have like more videos coming up soon. So
I just want to say this is one thing that we really try and do. We did it with our Kickstarter campaign, is do these kinds of videos, a lot of live demo videos during the campaign, so that as time goes on, you guys can feel more and more confident about the purchase you're making. Because putting the $100 down now doesn't really mean anything unless we convince you that this is a solid product, to invest in, at the end of the campaign.
Yes, correct. And then also like people was asking like, what does like $2,999 included?
Yeah, sure. So the previously our 2023 version when you bought this main body, or what we call Yarbo core, you needed to buy a module with it. And that module was normally an expensive module, like a snowblower, right? Or the lawnmower. We wanted to lower the barrier of entry. And so for the $29.99, that gets you the Yarbo core, but it also gets you something called a smart cover. The smart cover gives you a good amount of functionality. So things like tow mode, right? So one thing that you could do is you could tow around an aerator in an autonomous pattern, right? A dethatcher, a lawn sprayer. One you would just pick up from Home Depot, you might have from your ride-on lawnmower. The other thing you do is do things like move your camper around, or move your boat around in your driveway. We have, I think, a 3,500 pound towing limit on that end. And then there's some other, very useful features if you're gardening and maybe you have a couple 100 pounds of mulch. You could put it in a gorilla cart, let's say, and ask Yarbo to follow you around the yard while you yard work, but Yarbo is doing the heavy lifting, right? So Yarbo is towing all this heavy material. Maybe you're doing construction around the house, and Yarbo's kind of your yard assistant in that respect. And the other thing it also gives you is kind of proactive surveillance for your yard. So most security systems, like whether it's as simple as a Ring doorbell or an actual alarm system, you only know the person, or there's a threat when
like people just like
when they get to your door, right? So with Yarbo, you can set a time that you want it to patrol and notify you, and proactively notify the person that's on your property that, hey, we've taken a picture of you. It's been sent to the owner. Please leave the property immediately. And then you can actually view that video. You could trigger an alarm if you want. And the other nice thing about Yarbo is that you can teleoperate it from anywhere in the world with the smart cover, right? So if you hear a noise outside and you don't want to go outside and see what that is in the middle of the night, you could just drive Yarbo over there and see what it is. But that's all included in that core package. So we really just wanted to lower that price of entry to make Yarbo more obtainable. And then whatever modules you want to get, either along with it, if you bundle it, you'll get a cheaper price. But if you just want to get the core right now, and then later on purchase a module, that's fine too.
So the next questions will be like, what should we do after I just get 100 prepaid?
Yeah, so once you put the $100 down, you're basically just gonna follow along with the campaign. We'll constantly put out videos. We will do more, kind of questions and answers like this, so that you guys, know the product very well, see it demonstrated. And then when the campaign ends, that's when your credit card is actually charged. So at that point, obviously prior to that, you'll know the pricing. You could then make your full purchase, and when the campaign ends, then the full purchase will run through. We'll produce the units. Everyone, we're slated for delivery in October. And that's a really conservative goal, because this is, again, just an evolutionary change. This is not this, a big revolutionary change where we have to really redesign things.
Yes, correct. And then also there are some questions about the pricing. So about the general ballpark hints. So and what kind of price that expect?
Yeah, so general ballpark would be about 30% off MSRP. We're basically guaranteeing at least 30% off MSRP on the different modules. So the blower being our cheapest module, the lawnmower and the snowblower being our most expensive module. And kind of the way we envision this is to be around the cheapest wireless solution, right, for a lawnmower, around that ballpark for each module. So we'd like to see the snowblower and the lawnmower, well under $2,000. We'd also like to see the blower, hopefully under $1,000. And again, depending on, the campaign is going really well right now, so it seems pretty encouraging. The more people that come on board, the lower that overall price is going to be. So.
Awesome. So also about like the bundle pricing. So like people still like want to clarify that like what's the price for the module, like the Mower bundle, and then because like the only price they can see is just like $100 for the early offer, and then there's no actual pricing. So there are just questions about that. So.
Yeah, so I mean, again, we will be releasing pricing, exact pricing, but for right now, I mean, if you needed a ballpark, we would probably say for the Yarbo core, that includes the docking station, the base station, the battery, the core itself, and the smart cover, right? So that would be $299.99, $3,000 basically. And then for the mower, you're talking, you know, definitely under 5,000 for sure. It's probably, you know, it could be a decent amount less than 5,000 together, right?
Okay.
So, and to give you an example, I mean, that's somewhat in line. I mean, if you were to take a Lumba 10,000, right? That could do about 2.5 acres.
Yeah.
And that unit's about $4,000. We can do about 6 acres, right?
Yeah.
So we're really trying to drive a good value and get the price as low as we can for everybody. So it's a, you know, so it's a win-win.
Correct. So, so about like we're talking about the pricing. So like now we are curious about like the shipping and then the timelines.
Yeah.
So people just asking like, does Yarbo offer like free shipping at this point?
Yeah. So Yarbo does not. We do not offer free shipping. We did with the Kickstarter, but because we are trying to get the pricing down so low and shipping varies so much, that the only other additional cost would be tax and shipping.
Yeah. And then so when should I expect to have our lawnmower delivery?
Yeah, so actually this goes for the lawnmower, the snowblower, the blower, Yarbo itself. Everything will be delivered in October. So everything at the same time, no matter whether you just buy the lawnmower or you buy the complete set. Yeah, super important.
Yeah, and then the last questions that we have is like, what if I don't feel Yarbo fits my yard? So can I return it and then get my money back?
Yeah, so, and this is something that, I know there were a couple questions about the return policy. So we are going to refine the return policy to make the terms of just
more clear.
Yeah, correct. A little bit more user-friendly to digest. But yes, the whole idea is that if you get Yarbo and you're not happy, you will be able to return it back. To be quite frank, Yarbo's a heavy machine. The shipping is not cheap, so you may have to pay for shipping back. Right now it says you do, but we will clear that up. I know some people were concerned, well, what if I use it? You can use Yarbo for that time. And if you decide, hey, in 30 days, this is just not the machine for me for whatever reason, right? You can absolutely return it back. What we mean when we say, you know, usage outside of like normal wear and tear. If you're manually driving it and you drove Yarbo into a tree and you cracked, you know, the front module in half because you just rammed it into a tree or you drove it off the edge of a retaining wall, right? Unfortunately, you know, not everyone is honest. And so what we do is we get the unit back, we do a quick inspection, which is pretty normal in the industry. And as long as it passed that inspection, it's fine. You know, minor scrapes, scuffs, that's fine.
Totally fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, thank you for answer all the questions that you the people has.
Yep.
So thank you for Ken today, and then hopefully if you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave a message to our social media, and then we will collect them, and then hopefully we can get more this kind of Q&A sections later.
Yeah,
and then we do have like go have like more videos to show you guys.
Yeah, we're definitely excited to show some demo videos and do these questions and answers. And a lot of times we'll do Facebook Lives so that we can be doing a demo while people are asking questions. So yeah, we're super excited about that. We can't thank you guys enough for all the support and the questions.
All right, thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.